Welcome back to Solo Saturday. I am going to post-record this audio because I get distracted playing, and this also isn't one of my favorite levels in Halo. And being that this is a post-recording, I can actually talk about that and not get distracted with I'm about to die and I need to save this life. So, I guess I'll just go ahead and start talking about that. I don't think that the level Halo is it's not a bad level by any means. Certainly no library, but it's not really all that good to me. And all of it boils down to the first interactions in each segment. So first you have here the Covenant dropship coming in and your escape from the scene of the crash. And the Banshees here, on I guess any other difficulty, aren't that bad, but on Legendary, Plasma takes down your shields. That's just what it does. And then the Banshees have a stronger Plasma that takes down more health. And then after that, you immediately encounter an elite with a few grunts. So if you don't have any shields, when you see them, and the Banshees circle around a few times, you basically just have to hope that RNG is with you enough to where Banshees don't circle back to you, but instead just can carry on and leave you alone. That way you can actually have a good chance of, well, not dying to the first red elite that you see in the level. But then you drop down these rocks and you look around the corner, and it's a very open field, and you're armed with the not really semi, but the pretty inaccurate Magnum when it comes to long distance, and then the super inaccurate assault rifle that's only good when you get up close, but on legendary difficulty it might as well just be a pea shooter. So you arm yourself with a plasma rifle or plasma pistol, and you go for the noob combo, take out the shields and headshot them. But again, like I said, the Magnum's a little inaccurate. So, like, you'll see a few times in the level where I'll just be looking like to the side of an enemy's head, and then I'll shoot, and there'll be a headshot. Whereas with any other accurate weapon, the headshot would need to be in the center of the reticle. And I can just find that annoying for the beginning of this level. And for the other parts, there are 4 parts to four rescues to this. This one, the one in the rocks, the one on the hillside, and the one on the cliff. Those are pretty good for pistol because they're close combats and whatnot. No, there's one more death. Add another third one to the death counter. And you can kind of make the situation pistol not reliant but complementing. And any of those would have been a better start than this area, in my opinion. This area would have been a great place to introduce a sniper rifle, because it's a nice open field and you've got plenty of vantage points. But what you don't have is a sniper rifle. And I find that a shame, and it would have been so much better with it. Because most of my deaths are because I just don't have the proper weapons to take care of, the Covenant here. If the grunts get up close, I can headshot them. But they and the Jackals share the triple shot burst of the plasma pistol, which is in and of itself unfair. And here I am, trying to do it myself, and it doesn't work out too well. Here comes another death, I think. No? Okay. Yeah, so I killed him with it, but it's you know, it's not one of those. There it is. It's not something that you're able to rely on as a tactic at all, and it kind of jostles your controller enough to where it's not even a good idea to do. So, oh, there's a solid tree. So, I just kind of don't like the level Halo because of its start. It's a fine introduction to the Halo ring, and probably one of the best ways to introduce it. But the openness of it doesn't actually favor the combat, which is a big part in this, given that you're put up against, I want to say, 5 firefights right off the bat. You have the initial one after you save, no, it'd be 6. You have the initial one that you have to save everyone from. You have the second one that I just completed, this third one, and then you have a 4th one on the other side of the construct, and then 2 more simultaneously. So that's 6 drop chips. I guess you could say it's 1 firefight, but given the slow pace of how the drop ships come in, I kind of consider them all different firefights. Here I am, you know, moving the Magnum across the screen, and the grunts are dropping. It's not. I'm not anywhere near the head when I do that, but the grunts are getting headshot. So here I am picking up the plasma pistol for some charge shots, so I can, you know, get the shields down off an elite from a distance, and then knock that, and then hit him in the head. And you gotta wait for some dialogue before this guy comes down. But the best thing to do for these is to just toss a grenade where they're gonna land. And then when you do that, you know, they land on the grenade, and if you time it right, they land on it as it explodes, and they just die. And it works out very well in your favor. And because I didn't use a plasma pistol at all, I still got 89 battery on it, which is very well. And I prioritized the Jackal right there because Jackals are not fun to fight against on Legendary in any Halo game. Very true to their character of being a pirate species, the Jackals play very unfair. Be it a Jackal sniper or a shielded Jackal. And, you know, props to Bungie for maybe unintentionally making that happen. But it really works out in favor of the Halo sandbox. And then I'm also here trying to keep Sergeant Johnson alive. After hearing his voice ring out, I was like, oh man, I can do a Johnson run. And so I'm getting really nervous here, hoping that one, I don't die and have to do all this again. Like, dying on the other sections and the other firefights isn't that bad. And I thought he died here. I think I went up there to look at him, make sure that he was alive or dead. Yeah, if you die like in the other sections, you have like some power weapons. Yeah, there's Johnson, and you can like use those to your advantage. You can't swap any weapons out with your allies until Halo 2, which is kind of a shame. But if you're lucky enough, you can find a person with a sniper rifle, get them in your passenger seat, and that'll work out pretty well for you. And then here you gotta wait for the back up so the Warthog can actually drop. And then I go over rush over to pick up Johnson so I can do the Johnson run. And there he is on the right. And let everyone run past so I don't accidentally run over a Marine. Try to get far enough away from the situation to get Johnson into the gunner seat. And the Pelican leaves. And they still chase it down. Wait, no, guys, look, it's left. It's gone. You're with me now. Get in my Warthog. And they do. And then almost immediately, Johnson makes it worth it. And now I decide, hey, you know what would be better than just going down here, doing a little sum, making things a little more awesome. Let's get a big old jump in. So this one's for you, AJ. Love that little scream he does.
Someone built
Not in a
so it must lead somewhere.
sadistic way.
I've hacked into the
Just-
Covenant battle network.
I find it awesome that's programmed in there.
Tactical data on unencrypted channels.
So here we go
Show
into
them
the
who they're dealing with.
completely
Master Chief,
unnatural
I'm going to use your
cave.
suit's transcom system to monitor their chatter.
And I decide, you know what? It's Florida. We can make it. Part of this is from the watched a few speedrun videos on Halo. And I was like, you know what? You can actually make that jump without having to do anything. And then just like Pillar of Autumn, I've recorded this level several times over.
Way to go!
Because I'm just not, I just wasn't happy with how the recordings would end up. And I was like, yeah, I can't keep this recording. These damn needles. And here I go, resetting, and that's when it cost me a death, as it would in any game. And I try to run over some of the Covenant, but they jumped out of the way, unfortunately. Now, something smart I learned from one of my run-throughs of this is if you park the Marine just right, you can actually take out the shield of a Elite, and the Elite becomes very squishy then, which then allows you, to let the Marine just handle it. Because the Warthog turret can mow down any unshielded target very efficiently. Here I am, testing a theory that if I throw a grenade up here, that it can kill an Elite. And we'll see how that pans out later. Meanwhile, I'm here taking pot shots from stupid jackals. And you got these 3 grunts. And I think there's a jackal behind me. Yeah, there he is. And we'll stop that nonsense. Get him out of here. And then you got these guys. Just the 3 stooges of jackals. So over there, sniping away with a plasma pistol. Doing nothing else with their lives. And so I just have to, put an end to all of that. First goes Curly. And then Mo. And the 3rd one. Which, if I watched the 3 Stooges at all, I'd probably know his name. I think Joe? I don't know. Yeah, so all that plasma grenade did for me was just piss him off. I awoke the hive and didn't really work out for me. So I was like, okay, let's go in here, take out shields, headshot him. I can't really hit him. Another one came up here, so threw a grenade down here. Nope, looks like he died. Nope, he didn't. He had no shield and decided to tank a grenade at point blank, and it worked out for him. So I was like, wow, that's a little unfair, but you know, you do what the game lets you do. And if the game lets you tank a grenade, you know, and live without shields, you don't question it. You just let it happen. Because it works out in your favor and you don't care. And here's an unskippable cutscene. Can't really do much about it. But the point is, I've got Johnson. He's alive and in my Warthog right now. And that's all that matters to me on this run. Never done a Johnson run before, because I don't play Combat Evolved a lot. But I'm doing one now, on Legendary. So I think it counts. You get back in there, he's still got pretty good health. Albeit, he wasn't really inside all that long. And we're on our way. And I noticed that what looked like a landing pad earlier on the left of the screen, if you rewind a little bit.
A lot more crew made it off the
And
island than I
Bungie
expected. The captain
obviously had a
really
lot of
gave them
time
hell.
constraints with this game.
If we can
And I'm
find
wondering,
the
like,
keys and the other survivors,
maybe
we have a chance to
they
find
meant to
the effective
backtrack
resistance.
through this big level at one point and open up a lot more of a level. But I can't say that without having tools to look at the rest of this level, and I have a feeling that there's not a lot modeled that goes along with this level. But right now, with no research done, as most theories are nowadays, my theory is that instead of having you backtrack through Assault on the Control Room and Truth and Reconciliation, that you'd be going back through this level to make it to where you need to be.
Survivors detected. Marines concealed in those rocks.
And, you know, have some Banshees that you can fly around and stuff like that. I'd like to explore this level, because like I said, the level itself isn't like awful. It's just they open you up in a big open area with a pistol and an assault rifle, and then basically also a plasma pistol and a plasma rifle. And that's the part I don't like that part. But here we are on the second rescue spot, and if you're able to, on any other difficulty, you can probably use the pistol. Excuse me. Probably use the pistol effectively within the rocks. An assault rifle with the corners and whatnot. But honestly, I found that just using the Warthog with a gunner will do the trick, because you can just drive around, hit some trees and rocks, and as long as you're able to dodge the dropship fire, then you can do pretty well. So here I am dodging the fire for a minute while I let the ships drop, and then I go in, let my gunners take care of some things, and start ramming. Another thing to note is that the doors don't have collision, so you can just run through them and take out every single elite, because sometimes elites will drop through those doors and end up underneath the dropship, and that works out in your favor, having no collision, I mean, so you can just ram through.
There's another one.
And keep this honestly good tactic going, because look here, I just rammed 2 red elites right there. and them, you know, Marines complimenting each other on their nice sniper fire. Johnson here is in the red, and that's making me nervous because I want to keep Johnson alive, and having him in the red isn't doing good for that purpose. Him shooting an invulnerable turret also doesn't help, but I can't stop him from doing that. I think it's therapeutic to him in some way. Go around here, take out a few more grunts, hope that their sticky grenades don't hit him. Try to run over an already dead elite. Johnson liked that. And then we go over, I think we have one more drop ship. Yeah.
Roger that. Come get some.
We'll take care of some of that.
Nice shot.
That sniper's honestly doing some pretty good work. He took out the elite 2 shots right as he came off.
Good one.
I don't know if I'd have been able to do that.
So up now, are you?
Yeah, so that's it.
There it is.
And then we head over and
We read you, Echo 49.
on to the next
We
area.
have survivors and need immediate dust off.
I'm just going to reiterate that I'm post-recording this because at this point, I was having a lot of pauses in the firefights where I just wouldn't talk and I'd focus on, on fighting. Partially because I was trying to keep Johnson alive. I was getting really nervous about that.
Over here.
But also because just the nature of these fights in the open area caused me to try to focus more. Yeah, so here I go, come down, running over some enemies. I see 2 leads, I'm like, yeah, one, do a nice turn around the tree, and stuff. He's bobbing and weaving, and I got him. And Johnson's down at 1 health. R. Which doesn't, I don't know what number to call that health. You're like, okay, well, let's go in here and, oh, no. Johnson died. I've only got past here with the assault rifle left, and there's a lot of rocks that are causing my Warthog to have sex. So, you know, chalk one up, get Johnson back. Like, okay, well, now I gotta reach, new strategy. Don't go down here. Wait, I went down here. Now there's, don't go down. Go here. Let me get my shield back. And okay, what do I do now? I guess I can see if there's a sniper rifle over here, or a sniper marine. No. I'll stick with the ones I've got. And Warthog ramming seems to be the best tactic. So, well, Warthog ramming also gets Johnson killed. So let's keep him here, and I'll try to bait everyone. I'm a master at baiting. So let's put those baiting skills to use with the Master Chief, the Master Chief baiter. And let's get all those elites up here, take out some of the shields, and boom. Oh no, dropship fire. And oh no, jackal fire from behind. Okay, we got this. Here I am. Not aiming for the dropship, mind you. Just putting some grenade fire down. And here I'm getting nervous. Hoping that those elites don't kill my Johnson. I'm like, okay, it doesn't look like they are. I still hear the turret going off. You know, everything's fine. Oh no, the Warhawk flipped over. Oh god. Oh no, Johnson, don't be dead. So I flip it over, I still hear him, I'm like, oh yeah, Johnson's alive.
I'm hit.
And then I die. Well,
There it is.
okay, so I'm like, okay, well let's move him. No, he's pretty safe there. That's the best spot for him. So I just gotta stick here, take out shields, stick enemies, and take out runs. Showing again how inaccurate the Magnum reticle is. Because again, well, I'll put it this way, I don't think the Magnum itself is inaccurate. I can consistently get headshots as long as I put the head at the edge of the reticle. The reticle itself is inaccurate. It's more like you take that reticle, shrink it down, and multiply it around the rim of its original size, and that's the actual Magnum reticle. So here I'm like, well, I know this won't happen, but maybe I can get Johnson to take that health automatically. And no. So now I've just got the agonizing
Let's roll.
task of having Johnson live through the rest of the level with this much health. Well, let's hope it works. Because I'm 25 minutes in, and I don't want to restart again.
Maybe they took cover in that structure. Let's check it out. Warning. I picked
Okay.
up reports that the Covenant has located
Yep,
and secured
that's
the
a
Pillar
solid
of
tree.
Autumn's crash site. The good news is the captain is still alive.
This guy,
The bad
making me
news is
nervous.
The Covenant has captured the entire
This guy.
surviving command crew.
you're making me nervous.
Let's hurry and
This
find
guy
the
with his
final
needles.
items so we can link up
Those
with
needles
the
really make me
survivors.
nervous. I'm like, okay, well, they bounced off.
Settled now. Let's do it.
Then I'm like, okay, well,
Come on.
let's take care of these elites.
Way to go.
And let's use up all my grenades. And I might have to. Here's a heart stopper. It's like, oh god, that head's toward. No, it's not close enough. Got plasma grenades. Missed him. Missed him. So while this is going on, I've been having some thoughts about other games. Not necessarily in this recording I was thinking about it, but right now, this is kind of self-explanatory stuff going on. So, I, on and off, play Pokemon Go, and I have a love-hate relationship with it. On one hand, you know, it's awesome to have an augmented reality game on your phone of a franchise you love, where you can catch Pokemon that live next to you. But on the other hand, it's so obviously a coded game that isn't real. Like, what I mean by that is, like, it's an augmented reality. It's not like an alternate reality, which isn't a very common game type. Johnson died, so like, oh, reset. Take another death. Go all the way back here. Yeah, so it's just, it feels like, you know, it doesn't feel like a game to me. It's like, okay, well, we have this money-making franchise that we can make money on by putting it on something people wanted. You know, smartphone Pokemon. Not just emulated Pokemon, but Pokemon on your smartphone device. And I'm like, hey, that's, you know, that's something people wanted. And they did it in a nifty way where you can catch Pokemon in first person. That's really cool too. Yeah, that got scary. But I feel like they half-assed it, you know? Like they're like, we'll make money on this either way. We don't have to try too hard. And other people are like, oh well, blah blah blah. They, you know, all these assets and whatnot, they cost money and all this. Yeah, I mean they don't cost that much money. They're certainly showing profit by now. You'd think they'd be able to afford, you know, a better, you know, trading system, a better battling system. Which battling system I can kind of see, like, if you do like turn-based, choose moves, stuff like that, you're gonna have like a stale meta, and it's also not gonna be a game that you made. You're just gonna be copying the working formula, which would get you kind of yelled at by fans and whatnot. But trading costs currency. I have to have Stardust and candies to trade a Pokemon with a friend. A Pokemon that I don't have.
Get me an angle.
Or rather, a Pokemon that I have for a Pokemon that they don't have. The best option here is to trade easy, grinding Pokemon that you can get candy and Stardust easily with, and just grind those and trade those for Pokemon that you don't have. But the thing is, everyone's gonna have those Pokemon. Nope, Johnson died. Reset. And it doesn't make a lot of sense to tell people, hey, trading has always been free in Pokemon, and that's part of how you know people have such strong connections in Pokemon, is that the trading feature and battling features, they can happen anytime in the game. You know, as soon as you get to a Pokemon Center that lets you go to the Link Cable Room, you can battle and trade with your friends, given that they're at that point too. But in Pokemon Go, it's like, well, there's no rooms, and there's not a whole lot of peer-to-peer stuff. By the way, I love how that Elite is dangling and looks like by one leg. It's an awesome way for him to die. But, you know, in a system where smartphones can connect to smartphones by being a cell phone, and they can connect to anyone, anywhere, at any time, without having to go through a server, really, Niantic could have capitalized on that and been like, hey, here's a better, more efficient trading that happens instantly. And it, you know, it's awesome. But what they went for was, let's see how much we can get out of our player base. How much Stardust can we force them to get to trade Pokemon? How many candies should it take? How many times should they be going and spinning Pokestops to get gifts to send friends to have the ability to trade? Because you also can't trade with anyone. You have to be able to trade with friends, people that you're associated with. Not necessarily in real life, but you have to have enough. You have to have given them enough gifts to where they're considered your friend in Pokemon Go.
Back me up.
That was really nervous for me, because I like that grunt throws that. It's all over. Johnson, smart guy, gets out, doesn't want to die. I'm like, okay, it's safe.
Can't hide from me. Showtime.
So basically, to me, all this boils down to is And I'm not going to be playing Pokemon Go
Want some more?
anymore personally. And I said this before, and I didn't play for like 3 years, so I'm pretty sure I mean it when I say this.
Can't hide from me. Keep it up.
Like,
Spoil them.
the first time I was like, okay,
I see 'em.
I played it when it first came out in July of 2015, or maybe it was 16, and it was 15. And I enjoyed it for what it was. You know, it's kind of like a beta of what Pokemon Go could be. And I was like, hey, that, you know, it's a nice idea. Awesome. This looks like it could be great. And then it ended up being like, oh no, this is it. This is the game. And I was like, okay, so the next update they're gonna have Johto Pokemon. That's odd. I wanted, you know, Pokemon from all regions. But nope, just Johto Pokemon. So that's when I was like, okay, this isn't gonna be my kind of game. These aren't gonna be my kind of company tactics that I like seeing out of video game companies. So I dropped it for 3 years.
Let's do it. Grenade.
Got back into it Christmas of 2018 because I had a new phone and more space so I could actually download it again. And then I downloaded it, had some fun with my brother and a friend, and then my friends came back to college and we had some fun, and then we just kind of like all stopped playing together.
Traffic on the Covenant Battle Net. I
And I
found
was like,
Captain
man,
Keys. He's being
this really
held
isn't
on
fun.
a
So I started
Covenant
looking at like,
cruiser.
what is it that I want from
Then
this game?
reconciliation. A ship I disabled before we
Well,
abandoned
first
the
of all,
yard.
I want like
Reconciliation. Touchdown in the
free
desert
trade,
plateau, roughly 300 kilometers
trade
west of-
anywhere, and battle anywhere. And secondly, I want to be able to do
Let's
stuff
go.
by myself. I don't want to have 3 other people with me just to get a chance at a Soul Rock in a raid. And then forget legendary
That's all
raids
right.
altogether.
Get aboard and let's get out of here.
I don't have enough friends that have enough time to do that stuff. So and that's the path that Pokemon Go is going down.
Go, go, go.
If you don't have the friends and the time or the patience or anything like that, you're not going to get it. Is your favorite Pokemon legendary? Well, that's too bad, because if you don't have the time for it, you're not going to get it. But that's going to be it for this episode, and I will see you guys next week with another Solo Saturday. So until then, goodbye.